Good evening, folks. It is Friday, June 5th, approximately 6:30 at night, and I just wanted to share my thoughts, or just a few of my thoughts with you about this JadeHelm thing that the whole internet is up in arms about. Now, some people are saying it's no big deal, it's nothing to worry about, and other people think it's the end of the world. And I was just talking with a friend, and it occurred to me that during Teddy Roosevelt's presidency, Teddy Roosevelt's policy of force was to talk softly and carry a big stick. And how he demonstrated this was he sent the brand new mighty white fleet all around the world as a demonstration of our might and a show of our force. So he sent it around the world, and that was a message to the world that the United States is more than ready to deal with any type of threat. I think that JadeHelm, first of all, it's not in the media by accident. Anything that's in the media is not there by accident. It's there because they want you to know about it. So I think that maybe JadeHelm is a reflection of Teddy Roosevelt's policy of talk softly and carry a big stick. We've had a few domestic things like Ferguson and Baltimore and being close to martial law in Chicago, and those are all very predictable responses to poverty and attrition. So it's not like when Ferguson happens, it's a surprise to the American people, because the American people, their day-to-day lives consist of Kardashian, Bruce, and everything else that's on television that's a distraction. The bread and circus that Americans are dieting on. Bread and circus was a tactic that the Roman Empire used on its own citizens in its decline. As Nero devalued the currency because he couldn't maintain the suspense of empire, he was drilling out his own coins and filling them with lead. And this was to fool the Roman citizens into thinking that Rome was still prosperous and profitable. When that wasn't working, he had to distract them by erecting giant coliseums and having games where they fed Christians to lions and gladiator fights and all that sort of thing, and people were entertained. We have the same thing today with all the sports and everything that's on television, and you got the Kardashians and another thing about the Kardashians is they're a well-crafted propaganda piece. Kim Kardashian basically proselytizing for a tyrannical dictatorship, Bahrain. She went and she visited that country. Go look up everything that Kim Kardashian did while she was at Bahrain and what her purpose was there, and then go review Bahrain as a government and how it treats its own people. And right there is a perfect template for what I'm telling you. Everything that is on TV is not benign. It's there to distract you. It's distractions to take your mind off the fact that if you have a two-family household, both sides they both have to be working. The husband and the wife, they both have to be working. So Americans are struggling just to get their head to the surface of water, not to stay above water, because we're already upside down in our debt. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's the devaluation of the dollar since the Federal Reserve Act was passed in 1913. So now the American dollar is not worth $1, it's actually worth a nickel. So you think that you're going to work for $1, and you think the problem is that minimum wage isn't $15, but it's not. It's that your dollar is actually a nickel. That's, you at that time, 100 years ago, you could buy a house for less than a year's salary. Now you're paying for a house over a 30-year span. So, yeah. All the way back to the JadeHelm thing, I think it's just, it's not to say that another Baltimore happens, or Ferguson, or Chicago, or Boston. We just had an alleged terror suspect get killed in Boston, a day, 2 days ago. Things are constantly going to happen. They're going to happen because they're predictable responses to the circumstances that are in place. And those circumstances are that our government is at war with us. We are dealing with attrition. You get so many people. You go to these inner cities, and Brockton, Mass, say, 97% poverty. You go to Haverhill, Mass, and there's an epidemic of heroin use. There's pictures from Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts. The caption was, "As snowbanks melt, so do our hearts," because as the snowbanks melted, what was concealed in the snowbanks were all the needles from all the dope fiends that are shooting up, because the CIA has been muling cocaine and heroin into this country since the end of World War II. So that's the ugly truth about JadeHelm and Bruce Kardashian and everything else that you think is important. That's what's really going on. Have a good night.